Yo, what is up, gamers? It's Sebastian coming to you with a deck profile from the European YCS. I'm here with Harry.
Hello, nice to meet you, for
Uh,
starters.
yeah, and what deck did you play for the event?
I played Virtual World. It's my most played deck currently. I didn't really have many options to begin with, but I really believed going into the format, this deck was pretty favored since even Dragon Link took a very big hit and it was pretty much your worst matchup. So I really believed the deck would pull through and it really came close, but just missed a little short of the mark.
Yeah, you finished 35th place, right, with X2.
Yeah, I got 35th place, yes.
Alright, do you have any shoutouts you'd like to do before the deck profile?
So I would like to give a shout out to my team, Legacy. George Stiliadis, a friend of mine that pretty much helped me with playtesting, though we only played versus one or two different decks, so it wasn't really a lot. I mostly playtest on Dueling Book because it's more convenient, I suppose. Uh, some of my teammates as well, they really helped me a lot. And finally, Tom Gogas, another Greek friend of mine, which helped me finalize the deck list.
Okay, do you want to go into the deck profile then?
Yeah, of course. So the virtual world lineup is pretty standard. It's three Lulu, pretty much the best card in the deck. It's your entire engine. Literally, this and Kowloon can start off the entire combo by themselves. It's the best starter you can get out of all the names. Uh, Also, it's a level 3 tuner, so it's pretty convenient. Next up is 3 Lily. Uh, After the release of Zhuan Wu, because of many new combo lines, I would say Lily is probably the second best of the starters because it actually dumps two in the graveyard. It's like you can call it to, in case you activate King Long, you can dump Zhuan Wu, then Lulu. And you can revive Lulu back, bring out Vermilion Dragon Mech, help itself, and add back Lulu, since you have to banish her for cost, and she's a tuner. So pretty much that's the reason why Lily is probably the second best starter right now in the deck. Next up we got 3 Laula. Honestly, well, every Wizard World has its own utility in the deck. He's pretty much like the one that pushes through, So definitely a 3 of must as per every virtual, but like the small ones. And then we have Gigi. Gives you this gives you pretty much a play for next turn, which is what makes this deck so resilient. So definitely a 3 of as well. And finally, Tunayan. I don't play 2-2. Well, most of the time I do like 2-2 because it gives you an alternative. I really didn't. I really didn't feel able to put it in the deck list. Like, it didn't feel I had enough space, and I saw some other cards over here. So yeah, this is the entire virtual world package I played.
Okay.
Onto the hand traps, mostly because, well, I would say my luck is a little bad when it comes to die rolls, and I did lose most of my die rolls in this event too. I ended up playing 10 hand traps overall. Uh, I didn't believe, I'm not gonna say Blossom is bad, of course it's not, but I thought some of the other hand traps had more of an impact in this meta because even in Sky Striker, most of the time when you are going ahead to ask Blossom, it's already pretty late, probably. Uh, and I do feel that Ghost Bell is better in that matchup, but it was pointed out that big events like this have a variety of decks. So, even against rogue decks, I think As Blossom is amazing against rogue decks, so I decided to go with 3 As instead of 3 Bell, for example, which is as well.
Yeah.
So
In
yeah, the
IC-
race. Yeah, sorry.
In like the first format, I really like Ash because at least you have something you can Ash in every matchup.
Yeah, exactly. Like Ash can be used everywhere, even against Fractal, but like I feel it's more lackluster against Tri Brigade compared to other decks. For example, that's why I didn't really like Ash that much. Because I feel like every good deck, apart from Drytron at least, like Drytron can probably play through it anyway because it has so many extenders, but like other decks play like, for example, Tri Brigades play Gamma, so it's always a little scary to go Ass on a Fractal or like Ass on Rescue Cat. You can always lose the game from actually trying to Ass there, so I feel like it's very risky to ask some of those choke points, but if they resolve, you still lose the game. So, like, it's pretty weird, you know? So at start, I didn't want to play us, but I decided to go for it. So it gives me a good matchup against rock decks. I didn't really end up playing many rock decks, but it is what it is. Then it's Ghost Bell. I feel like this is one of the best hand traps in the format, definitely. Like if you can slow down Tri Brigade and it just got like a hand-drawn revolt, it pretty much stops their entire comeback, you know, so they don't have an accessibility to their engine on the next turn. So if you can stop their if you can stop their setup for the first turn and then hit the revolt with this, it's pretty much game over if you can establish a small board for you. Like you don't really have to establish a proper board afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's very good against Drytron, Salamangreat, Sky Strikers, because like you do this either on the Ray if you don't have a way to combat that, so you can shut off their engine, or like even when they try to advance with Kagari at times, which can slow down their pace. And like I think you have like this deck has a really good matchup against Sky Strikers most of the time. So like even DD Crow, because like many people play DD Crow. I feel like Bell is very good in this format and definitely favored my deck. So the bread and butter of virtual 3 gamma, pretty much the reason why you can resolve Kowloon Lulu so many times because everyone is afraid. If they get hit with this, it's like game over most of the time. Because like even if you go into Stardust Charge after you resolve this, then you can use Gamma and Stardust Charge to immediately go into Crystal Wing. A play many people forget because like Crystal Wing needs Wind Synchro and a tuner, and it's 6 and 2, so pretty much 8 like Crystal Wing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and two impermanents. I would play a third. I believe it's very good this format, but one it conflicts with Gamma because like if you draw both of them, you kind of have to like force your turn in a certain way so you can use both of the cards. And I didn't really have space because I wanted to use some cards for consistency because the deck. Seriously, the problem of the deck is that it breaks a lot. So I would say like Impermanence is pretty much one of the best hand traps right now, but I couldn't afford to play more of them, honestly. Moving on to the spells, I play 3 Kowloon and 3 Kinglong. I don't really feel like there is any need to explain this. Kowloon, probably like the best spell of Virtual Worlds. Kinglong is very good this format because Tri Brigades tend to go for Appaloosa. And even Drytrons at times, they play the Herald of Perfection package, and Herald of Perfection doesn't negate spell effects. So, like at times, if you activate this and don't negate it immediately, you can force off their fields. Because you can force off the field, and it came in pretty clutch in a match of mine. But I suppose that's a misplay of my opponent, so yeah, it's a little different. 3 Desires, pretty standard in this deck. Many people play Prosperity as well, but I will explain this when I go through my extra deck mostly, but I believe that even though I have Prosperities, I couldn't really... my extra deck is and my side deck as well is built in a way that it benefits more if I can draw more cards. And obviously, I played many hand traps, so I would prefer to draw in the hand traps instead of locking myself out of drawing cards.
Yeah.
So no prosperities in this list. Emergency teleport, cold buy, and foolish goods. Foolish goods is pretty much one more card for consistency. Emergency teleport because some decks tend to stop your like try to stop you on this on your summon. So like I found that an extender can come in handy at times. I don't really like teleport. I feel like it doesn't really provide that much. I could have swapped it out for foolish burial goods, but I decided to just go with it because I was all this time I was testing with it. And Call by the Grave, I don't really need to make any explanation, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely great card. And then standard, 2 Chuchi and 1 John Woo. Yeah, pretty much bread and butter of the deck, and this helps push through more combos. So, next on to the extra deck. 1 Ultimaya and 1 Crystal Wing.
Is that
it's like, yeah, it's a ghost
nice.
rare. Yeah, like if you love the deck and you can afford it,
Yeah.
like you can make some sacrifices. I suppose it could have been triple tactics talent because it's very good in the deck, but even for collectible reasons, I prefer to buy this.
Yeah, no, this is more worth it. I agree.
Yeah, I suppose so as well. Well, pretty much, it's pretty standard line right now in virtual world. Like, I don't think the deck can function easily without those two. Like, it puts up a negation. Honestly, it's enough. Sadly, it's not. It's not an omni negate, but it does the work, and also it synergizes very well with Sensen to push through damage because Sensen's effect to return a monster to the graveyard is not when Sensen attacks, but any monster of yours attacks. So at times you can like attack directly with Sensen, then attack with Crystal Wing, activate Sensen effect, then negate with Crystal Wing, so it can push for 5/8, and that's like 8/6 total damage. So it's an OTK just with these two cards down. So. Well, that's a cool interaction between those cards, at least.
Yeah, that's.
I do not. Yeah. Sorry, tell me.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things you can do just to push through for game if you can't really put on a bigger board,
Yeah.
Onto the level 6s, it's Stardust Charge, Coral Dragon, and Juju. Pretty standard lineup again for the level 6. Like in some lines, you go with either this or this to go into Ultimaya afterwards. So, yep. Level 6 line is pretty standard. And level 9's Ascension, Croc, and Vermilion. As noticed, I don't play the Dragoon or Calica cards. I've been play testing Calica for a while. I played it in many other events. Thing is, it locks you. It forces you to play a certain way as well, which I didn't like. Even though I believe that in a format with Drytron and Tri Brigade, Calica is very good. And one, I do not own Dragoon. Two, as I said, I built my deck in a way that I prefer actually drawing cards. So if you go for the Mod Dragon and Dragoon, even though like you put two consistent negates out, for example, like one, it's very susceptible to Dark Ruler, so I didn't wanna play into that. And two, like the way the deck and side deck are built, I would benefit better if I actually didn't play that engine. It would open up like slots in my extra deck for other things, so I decided to not go with that.
Yeah. Did you consider Hot Red? That's like another thing you can do with my dragon.
Yeah, but as said, it's like 2 slots, so
Yeah.
and yeah, I decided to just go with this. Hot Red was another idea, but I just felt like it's not really needed. Like it's not really needed. This deck draws a lot of cards, so like you can get into side deck cards very easily going first and going second. Like neither of the two are gonna help you. So it didn't really make much of a sense to me, at least.
Okay.
So yeah, level 9s are standard, Croc, Sensen, and Vermilion. All of them pretty standard. So the only rank 3 I played is Fortune Tune. Well, pretty self-explanatory. You just go into Zeus, the end. You don't
Yeah.
really, yeah, you don't really use it for anything else. Also, it has protection from being targeted, so it's very good against Sky Striker. And a cool interaction with Zeus and Such is that if they try to window anchor you, you pop your own Zeus, so you dodge the window anchor. Same goes for most of the cards, like since we have a lot of cards negating with target in this format, like Infinite Impermanence is good. Veilers are good. Widow Hunters are good against in Sky Strikers. So
Yeah.
so yep. Ptolemy M7 is pretty standard in this deck. Probably the best rank 6. Uh, it can out some boards. It can also give you back resources, like add the us, for example, against Guru or like anything that has to do with like it's built around Red Ice Fusion. So yeah.
Hmm.
Utopia Beyond, honestly, since I don't go triple tactics talent, Dragoon is very difficult to out at times. So you really do need this one actually. Like if you bait the Dragoon with something and then force him out with this one, or like force this and then out him with the Phantom Fortress, which is a little more difficult though. So yeah, Beyond is just for that. Fun. In a format with many Sky Strikers, Salamangreat, and Drytrons, this is insane.
Yeah.
Literally, against Sky Striker, it's auto win. Like, I played only 2 Sky Strikers. I didn't lose a single game to Sky Striker. And like, this card was just clutch, like it destroyed them. It either banished Ray or engage, and it was game over every time. It was like it set them too far behind if it resolved. And it's the same, like Fan shoots, you can dodge Widow Anchor, so
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
I'm a fan of that card.
Yeah, Gaia Charger, just because Fan has to detach both materials, and at times you don't really need to, like, this card doesn't detach a material for the first effect, so pretty much you can go into Zeus for 4 if you resolve Beyond. So Zeus, and finally a Zone Phantom Fortress because like it does out some stuff. Many people opt out of it, but I think like even in the late game, it's very good because it can force out a card from the hand and set them behind. Like you don't really have to worry at times in the late game, because you always have shoots and follow up for the next turn. So yeah, at times this can be very oppressive.
Mm.
So that is for the extra deck. Finally, the side deck, 3 Droll and Block. I'm gonna say it only came up against Drytron and one game versus Tri Brigade. I really believe this card is good against Tri Brigades because it really forces them to be slower or have revolt in hand. You can get hit with Gamma. That happened in a game of mine, and even though I had the nuts, I lost that game. So can definitely happen, but probably best side deck hunter in the game right now. I wouldn't change this for any reason, to be honest. They really came in clutch many times. Uh, so 3 Nibiru. I didn't resolve Nibiru one. Actually, I did, but it was in a Tri Brigade matchup, and it just came up randomly. Like I decided to side them in. I didn't really help a lot in that instance. I didn't play a single Salamangreat, which is very weird as well. So I didn't really get to resolve any Nibiru. Most of my matchups were either combo or Tri Brigade. So like combo, I mean Drytron or Virtual.
Yeah.
Didn't draw this against Virtual, and in Drytron it's okay, but the choke points are weird. Like, and many times they play around it. So yeah, he didn't really come up, but I think overall it's a solid choice for an extra deck, side deck. Sorry.
Yeah.
So 3 Twisters. Chainable Battle removal is overall better. In my deck, judging by how the games went, I think that Cosmic might have been better, even though at times you really want to discard a card. To push through some boards, you actually need to like have cards in hand. So it's a hit or miss most of the time. I went with twisters. I'm not gonna say they were bad. They came in very handy at times, but yeah, this could be cosmic as well. Like maybe if I made some changes, I would change these into cosmic and make some other changes to adapt to this.
Okay.
So yeah, satisfied with this, but yeah. As said, I built my deck to mostly draw cards and while going first, that's why I didn't go into parity lists as well. This is pretty much the reason against most of the decks in the format. This is an FTK, any of the three cards. So I don't really feel there's any explanation for this
Yeah, I think
order. Yeah.
I think like this format, like draw, nib, anti-throw, order should be in like every side deck pretty much, outside of like a few
Well,
decks.
yeah. Like Sky Striker, even though it didn't top, I believe that was a little weird, to be honest. And it's not about matchup for me. I don't care about siding these in against Sky Striker. I mostly side Twisters and the evenly. Not really, actually. I only side Twisters and Imperial because evenly Sky Strikers don't tend to set many cards if they are good with the deck. Like, I don't believe good Sky Striker players actually set many cards right now. Except if they're like going first, but you find that out. So I really believe like Twisters and Imperial are just better to go into that matchup. So you don't side out many cards anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so this is pretty standard against Trident. It's good. I can argue that it's not very good against Tri Brigade because most of the time they don't play many spells. Depending on the list, though, like Berda has to play one for one and stuff like that, so it's okay versus Berda because they got power cards. But pure Tri Brigade, it's decent. I wouldn't really maybe order, but definitely not anti spells. Last
Okay.
but not least, too evenly. Good versus Tri Brigade because going second the matchup is a little problematic since I didn't decide to play Dark Ruler. My reasoning was a little different, like it had to do with King Long outing the Appaloosa if you don't get hit with both Appaloosa and Toth. So I put out like that, and then I got either Bell or Twisters on the back row. So that was my thinking. But I just wanted to have a safety net, which was evenly, pretty much. And reboot, it's free against trap decks, so
Yeah, and
yeah, that was pretty much the reason. Like against trap decks, since you have a bad matchup, um, at least not exactly bad, but at times they draw boards that you cannot out.
and then
So I decided to just yeah,
and then you can
I
like
decided
reboot into Zeus as well.
yeah, exactly. So pretty much that was the reasoning for the entire side. Like evenly, they're good against Tri Brigade as well. They're very good in the mirror match. Like if the opponent decides to extend, these are godly in the mirror match. So yeah, that's all. That's all. Honestly, if I had to make some choices, maybe I could have swapped these, even though I believe they are good. The way my deck functioned, I think Dark Ruler would have been better. And I didn't play Dark Ruler because, honestly, I feel Ruler is bad against Drytron because they're gonna have two orange lights anyway, and I don't really have an out for that. Like I will need 3 names to play, and by that time I'm not gonna resolve many names anyway, so it's not gonna make any sense for me. So yeah, that's all. That's all. Honestly, I think this and maybe like this into Cosmic could have been my changes. This into Ruler and this into Cosmic. I don't really think I would change anything else. Maybe the hand trap line in the main deck, but as said, I really believe each and every one of these cards were like the ratios were good. Because Bell, you don't really need to draw 2 of them. You're not going to resolve it, you know. They get stuck in the hunt and impermanence conflicts with Gamma, so that was the reasoning of the 2 impermanents over 3.
Yeah.
So that's
Do you have any last
yeah.
words you would like to say?
Well, because there was a lot of explanation, I suppose it was a pretty long deck profile. So I would like to thank my friends. Definitely my team, my friends that supported me and helped me with the deck list, my girlfriend, which has been very supporting and very patient when you have to play such long events, you know. So yeah, I mostly have to thank my friends, team, and my girlfriend, and I hope I'm gonna top my next YCS. I really like the experience for it being the first one, and it left a grain of salt because I really believed in myself. And bubbling can be pretty hard when the score is like 9-2.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very hard itself. But no, I don't really have any other words. I'm very satisfied with the deck, and yeah, I hope it wins the event as well because I saw many virtuals stopped. And that's all from me, really.
Alright,
That's all from me. Yeah,
thank you for this, and I hope you
yeah.
top next time.
Definitely. I hope so as well.
Yeah, and that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.